Like, I feel like a lot of people just put a line through my name now. And
she goes, I only tease people I really like and people I really don't like. And she goes, you've got to figure out who you are.
Maybe let me win a little bit more and then things might change.
Man's been doing it long enough, he knows when to rest.
I know what I'm capable of. People say I got no chance this year, then I guess we'll see. I think that I'm just like completely willing to fail. Like I'm all good with that. Like, whereas like I'm ready to die by that sword. Even with these quarters that just went, you know, there was a part of me that was like, I don't even know if I should submit my next two. Very underdone, very bad. I was sitting like 85th after the 2 workouts, and it was like, oh, if you just bail out now, it is what it is. And it's like, no. Can you do that though? Like, that's not, you've got scores, you should submit your scores. And then regardless, you've submitted and you've done your best, you know? And I think that I'm just willing to fail. It's like, if we've got a lift, like I'm okay with missing that lift. So I will go for it. With the last event to qualify for the games, I remember walking out and I was like, all right, I could pace this workout. I said this to Matt in the back. I was like, I could pace this workout and finish well. And I don't know whether that'll be enough. Or I could start as hard as I possibly can and see if I can hang on and then have nothing in the tank. And if I can just get enough ahead of who I need to be, then if I can just hold on, and that's what we went for it. So like at that moment I was like, all right, I'm going to earn my games ticket or I'm going to burn it. Qualifying for the games, it was something that was impossible until it wasn't, you know. And then having like family there and my wife and kids, being able to bring Frankie on the floor, like all those moments were like, that's a moment that's kind of etched in time for me now. Yeah, and I just think that moment for me in particular was like, I got so many messages from people like, just like pumped for me or whatever, and then so many people like, oh, I'm so inspired. And I was like, this like, and even I spoke to CJ like straight after we got off the podium. CJ Walker, like a regionals guy, who competed a lot, right? And I was like, fuck man, I thought this was impossible. And he's like, it is. He's like, it is impossible. It's impossible for mostly everyone. Like, you start thinking about how many people have actually qualified to make the game. And I think like, that then was also a mindset thing of like, holy shit, what I thought was impossible, like no one thought I would make the games. I didn't even believe I could make the games, you know? And all of a sudden you just like one foot in front of the other and you take opportunities as they come, and I know it happened. And now, yeah, in my mind it's like, oh well, it was impossible before. People say I got no chance this year, then I guess we'll see. I had no chance last year.
Any one of the other guys that are probably like really looking at that podium, they'll know their weaker events, and it's going to be like how many people come between you and that position. It's not even about whose workouts come out. I think it's about who minimises damage at this stage, you know? Like guys like Rick and Jay don't leak many points. So like for a guy like me, it's like how much damage do I actually take on a poor event?
For me, I think I used to be very like outcome based on things like that, you know, like what my actual place was. But for me, like the worse the workout is for me, the less what anyone comes in, it actually really matters. It's like, it's just got to be about the process of that particular workout. You know, if I do my very best on the workout, I've got data to say that is good enough, you know. But the moment I start trying to chase someone else's time or something like that, like, so for me it's like blinkers on, just pure focus on it. Like my best should lead to a good enough outcome on any given event.
Someone that's probably next to you going really fast, you're still sticking to your principles.
Yeah, especially as it's a weaker event, whereas I feel like some people are the opposite of that. It might be like, oh, this is a bad event, who came what, like 5th place is sitting at 18 minutes or something, I've got to try and beat 18 minutes. Like, whereas in reality, you can only do what you can do, right? Whereas like when a workout becomes more of a wheelhouse or something like that, like for me, like heavy or 1RM or sprints, then you can start looking at like, what's the top time? What's the top weight? Oh, I just need to beat that by a couple kilos. Sweet, you know. But just negotiating over here about some rep ranges and some heights. So the workout's 15 dumbbell thrusters, heavy, 12 ring muscle ups, 9 burpee get overs at a 40 inch. And then we're just talking about whether George should do 36 inch or 32 inch. And whether she should still do 12 ring muscle ups, whether we drop those a little bit so there's a bit more of a race. So I feel like I'm heavier, so maybe I should drop the ring muscle ups for bodyweight purposes.
You are pretty short, so that box might.
See, what happens here is that I'm shorter 50% of the time and I'm taller 50% of the time, depending on what the workout is. It's not necessarily a true zone 2, we're just going to try and spin out like 95 to 100 RPM on a real low dampener. Zone 2-ish. Froggies, baby. They're good, man. I love the knee warmers, hey. I struggle with actual knee sleeves unless it's like a really like low rep, heavy squat kind of workout. I can't wear actual knee sleeves. It feels like they're just gonna cramp my calves up. But the knee warmers are awesome, hey. I usually pull them down and I'll just keep them above my like patella tendon. Just feels like it keeps my knees warm and doesn't like cramp my legs up. Hey?
It's abnormally large.
What is?
Yeah, bloody, look at them.
These?
The size of my body.
No, it's because George will say it's because my legs are short. That's all it is. I'm just compressed. Yeah. Yeah, they're normal size, but they just compress so much that they look...
Man just rolled in the door. I would say he's the glue that holds the place together, but probably more like sticky tape.
Yeah, well, it's kind of found CrossFit and I've been training that way for a fair few years, and as we moved back to town there wasn't really an option to train that way, especially for how I wanted to do it or how I envisioned it. So we just, for lack of options, opened up a gym. And you know, I'm a plumber by trade and it was never meant to be a job, it was never meant to be a business. It was just kind of people donated to come in, and that was like kind of paying the shed. And then all of a sudden we had more and more members and trying to do classes, teach people things, and that's kind of how it evolved, man. I just had I had a teacher at school that was trying to keep me out of trouble in free periods, so we sort of went up to him, we'd do some boxing and do some other stuff, and then he found this training method that was CrossFit.com, and we would do like fight on bads and things like that in that time frame, so like once or twice a week. And I just really kind of enjoyed it. Like, I don't know, I enjoyed the fitness side of it. Never enjoyed running and things like that, but I just loved what CrossFit was. And yeah, just over time, you know, when I went overseas, I met a guy that was in a CrossFit gym. I didn't know they existed. And he kind of started giving me workouts of it, like WODs, you know, workout of the day. And I was like, oh shit, I'll try this and that. And all of a sudden it was something like, yeah, we would always do like a Metcon or a CrossFit style workout every day, even if we're doing bench or squats or whatever. And yeah, it kind of evolved that way. I started just training full time. We're officially Snake CrossFit, I think it was 2014, it's like November 2014. Yeah, and then we were I was training a few people a couple of years pre that, but yeah, that's when we kind of went CrossFit official, I guess, became an affiliate. We started in a little like industrial shed with like Visa block walls. I remember we used to have to wall ball with sunnies on because the like the concrete would come off the walls when you were walling. I remember we had to do the open workout, which was the wall balls ring muscle up double under. So where we had to wall ball and ring muscle up was about 20 meters away. But besides that, it was like you had to wall ball with glasses on and then take them off and go do your ring muscle ups and dubs and come back, because like they would shed so much concrete.
What's the best part about living in Tamworth?
Look, honestly, you're 5 minutes from anywhere. That's what I love about town. You sort of got connections. Growing up here is awesome. Like, you probably either went to school with someone or you know someone's parents or something along those lines, that like you got connections all through the town. I feel like it's a real tight-knit community. Yeah, I played a bit of baseball and a bit of rugby league as well when I was growing up, and then kind of got serious about rugby union when I was like late teens, and that predominantly took like most of my time. Enjoy like a bit of wrestling and a bit of Muay Thai, but yeah, mainly rugby union.
Look, maybe my face doesn't age so much, but the old body's taken a beating. There's a couple of greys coming out. I think that's from majorly like the girls. Oh yeah, how's this? You want to hear something crazy, right? So my daughter, Frankie, is closer to Maisie in age than I am. And she's 6. You want to make a man feel old at training? Like my daughter's closer to Maisie than... And they're expecting me to recover and keep backing up, you know what I mean? Still whooping them on the daily too, just quietly.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I haven't had the best run with injuries since I started, I guess, competing. I had 2 knee surgeries right as my competitive career started. I think it was regionals in 18, did some sanctionals in 19, then in the space of about 2 months, subluxed elbow, dislocated knee. So had some surgery and had some time off. It took me about 2 or 3 years to get back on the scene after that, you know, just going through. I had my surgery and then I had to have another one, and just quite a long stretch from 19, and then my next Torian back was 22, I think. And then I came, 5th and had a good little run there. And at Down Under was, I sprained my SI joint on a D-ball clean. So quite frustrating. Like, I had been really working on endurance and I was a lot lighter than I had been for a couple of years there. I think I came into that comp around 91. So when I qualified for the games, I was sitting at like 97.
Wow.
So I dropped like 5 or 6 kilos, which is like, if you've ever done Murph with the vest versus without it, you know how much better that feels. So I felt amazing, man. I'd PR'd my 5K and my mile, and I don't know, I guess it was just unlucky, or maybe I hadn't been doing the work that I needed to do to stay injury free. So either way though, it just sort of is what it is, and had to take that one on the chin. And I pulled out of Down Under after that event purely on the basis of trying to be healthy for the season, and it hasn't played out as well as I would have liked. You know, it's been more of a nuisance than I thought it was going to be originally, but I think everyone at this level is dealing with something or other, and I think it just gives me an opportunity to continue to fight back, and just even from a coaching standpoint, I've been through this now so I can help other people get through it. And without my team, like my team of coaches around me, like I would have said that this season would have been impossible at February. So I just kind of feel like just tools for your trade, little tool shelf. I decide, depends what the workout is, depends what I'm going to wear, depends how sweaty I was to what sits on the left to the right.
Have they ever been washed?
Obviously, yeah, definitely, at least once.
Oh, obvious.
At the games is a little bit different. At the games it's very professional. Guys are like on, and like everyone's got their job, I guess. There's still the guys like, and you can still have good banter with, I guess. In between events it's pretty chill. I feel like everyone knows they're there for a job too. At like a semis level, behind it's a little bit like less stressful, I guess. Until it's like last event and your ticket depends on it, that's stressful. But no, I feel like the longer you're sort of in it, the funner it is out the back, because guys, and you're not like you're not worried about stepping on toes. You can get in there and have a bit of banter, and everyone's pretty chill.
Is there a bit of competition here? Who's gonna win, or?
There always is.
Yeah.
And does the loser have to do
I don't know,
anything?
we are.
Nah, it's just bragging rights, really. Yeah.
And who's holding the crown at the moment?
I feel like we'd each have a different opinion on that.
Look, I've definitely got more.
You've been doing it for longer.
That's such a dumb answer.
Dumb logic. But it's true. You only hate it because it's true.
But Georgia will also count wins of workouts that I wasn't even here. Like, she just does a workout. She's like, I won that one. It's like, I didn't do that workout. She's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it counts as a forfeit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it counts as a forfeit. That doesn't make. So how the fuck does that? How is that something? And then I've been just go workouts we've done against each other, head to head. Who wins more?
Well, you are stronger.
I'm taller.
No, it's pretty even. Depends on the day.
Like, people ask me about like resilience and mindset and stuff, and like, man, it sucks, Like, I hate it. Like, I was down and I hated it, and then every time like my back's jacked up on me or something, it's like, firstly you need good people around you to like keep you switched on and engaged when you disengage. But then the other thing is, like, I'll give myself 24 hours to flip it. It's like, all right, you can be mad, angry, upset at the situation, and that's all good. Like, it's a natural emotion. But then like from that 24-hour mark onwards, it's like it's not giving me anything after that. Like, I'm not benefiting from being a sad sack sitting at home. So just got to try and flick the switch. And what started as a joke with like Maddie and Coop, my manager, has now become like this mentality thing. Like, we started saying like warhorse, because it was like there's so many young guys coming through, and like they're all like race horses, and here I come, like old boy, beat up, still like the warhorse amongst the racehorses. And it was kind of a joke, and then it sort of turned into, no, it's just another battle, you know? So like after the back thing, that's where it sort of really became like this warhorse mentality, and that's where it sort of kicked off of like, it's just another battle. It's just like, the war's not over, man. It's just might lose a battle here or there, and that's how I just try and envision it now. I was like, all right, it's just another fight. Like from just another standpoint of like, I feel like a lot of people just put a line through my name now, and I don't feel any pressure moving into Torian. Like people can think what they want to think where I'm at. I know what I'm capable of. I know what my best can do. If you take the emotion out of it and just treat it like, just what can you do? You know, the pressures, any pressure I feel, or even athletes feel, is like mainly intrinsic. You know, it's like my kids don't care what I come. These guys don't care. Like, you know, like it's good. They would, obviously your friends want to see you do well, but they're still your friends if you don't do well.
I thought that I was going to hit a wall and that like I was gone. On the third side of the third round, I was like, I may have made a big mistake. Yeah, man's been doing it long enough, he knows when to rest. You know what I mean? When the kids go to Nan and Pa's and they like Pa's sitting on his chair telling all the kids, that's me. That's where I sit and all the little training buddies sit around me and I tell them about the good old days. Tell them before it was called semi-finals. There was never quarterfinals back in the day. Ideally, I would have liked to have put in like a zone 2 for today, but looking like when the girls are working, what I've got on, we're doing this. So we're going to try and fit in around about 40 minutes of like what would be classed like a zone 2 kind of pace. If we can fit like 20-30 minutes now straight after a workout, it's a great little way to practice like some lactic tolerance or utilization. So like in terms of like peak performance, like I am a far better athlete at 33 than I was at 23. I think like just maturity wise, mindset, all that sort of stuff. Physically, you obviously take some knocks. Sometimes it takes longer to recover. I've noticed sort of the older I get, but I don't know why that's a bad thing. You know, just need to spend a bit more time on it. My thing was never like quitting for an age thing or whatever. It was more so like it's nearly time to give back to the younger ones that are coming through, or my kids, give my wife some more time again. Like it's a long time in the gym. So for me it was all that kind of stuff, making sure I can balance being a business owner, a dad, husband.
Ellen would say, like, how much an athlete has to sacrifice, your spouse has to sacrifice more. Because it's like, you probably don't want to go out for dinner, and you probably don't want to go to these things. You probably have big training days, and weekends are actually, we train all weekend. There's all these things you don't want to eat bad because you want to eat good, and you're prioritizing your whole year around a competition season. And then they ride the highs and lows without the accolades that come with it, you know? So I think that, if they weren't supportive of it, there's no way I'd be doing it to start with, and there's no way I could do it without it. Firstly, I do a very poor job of juggling that, but I'm very lucky that I have people around me that help me juggle it, right? Like, I feel like something that I've learned the last couple of years is really the ability to dictate and say exactly what I need from the people around me, and then the people around me are just the right people to have. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm lucky, like, I own the business? Yep. But, you know, George is essentially like manages the place, and then Maddie's like oversees all the operations of what we do, and I'm really lucky that that's in place. And then having Ellen as my partner, if she was half as supportive, it would still be in abundance, you know? So it's like, that makes it easy. And she's really good also at reminding me, like, hey, maybe like, let's sit the phone down, let's play with the kids, like things like that. Whereas like when I start to get skewed, I'm lucky I've got a really good agent who will tell me exactly what's necessary from like a social standpoint to keep sponsors and things like that. Like, I think that the people around me are what helps me do what I do. Like,
Keep you grounded.
Yeah, well, there's no way I could do it. Like, when you talk about juggling it, like, I really don't. Like, I'm just lucky I have good people with me. If I didn't have these people with me, I wouldn't be able to juggle it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So I view it as like the people around me allow me to be what I am now.
How many else?
I don't know what it is for the day, but
I think it's the third since I've been here.
3's a stretch. I might have had a different branded bar, perhaps. It could be my third or my second. Get that energy up. That's why I need that second LCM bar.
So how much accessory work do you do?
Not that much, man. This is like, I wouldn't even call this for me accessory. It's more like just feeling out where certain things are. Teams last year or the year before had that weighted pull up for the, I think it was age groups?
I think it might have been.
Yeah. I think the age groups had like a 3 or 5 RM weighted pull up. Stuff's just like more exposure work. Try like different, like we overhand all the time, just see what underhand feels like. Very little, man. All my accessory work might be like trying like the injury prevention more than actual strength type deal. Oh, it's so awkward to get out of. LCM, where are we? Kellogg's, hook me up. I'll go one more year if you're getting it Kellogg's. That's where my money goes, fucking LCM. Man's got a complex already. Everyone thinks she's like this nice little, like polite girl. Well mannered. She's a bully. That's what she is.
I'm nice to the people that I like. Mace, nice to you. Yeah, she's so nice.
George says she gives shit to 2 kinds of people. She goes, I only tease people I really like and people I really don't like. And she goes, you've got to figure out who you are.
Maybe let me win a little bit more and then things might change.
I hope that I can show how much I've put into endurance, you know, because it's always been some poor finishes there, and I hope that I get to express that. But regardless of whether it comes out with a performance or not, like the thing I've been working most on is endurance. Been doing a lot of work on it, a lot of running, and I've seen some really good improvements of it. Spent a lot of time on bikes, and even with this back hip thing that's going on, it's that I've been able to still hit machines. So it's been like one blessing, you know. Rowing's been a bit of a nuisance, but like things like ski, bike, run, I've been really able to dig in on those. So I think that I can express my fitness in that way. And I haven't been able to touch a barbell, but that's not to say it's a bad thing. So I've been able to work a little bit more in gymnastics, and yeah, I think if I can express my fitness to where I think it is, I think people will be hopefully surprised at some finishes of endurance workouts. Hope I can execute. If it doesn't come up of a performance standpoint, like I'm still really proud of the work that's been put in for it. You know, like if I get there and I come last in an endurance event, man, those like it wasn't from a lack of trying. Let me tell you that.
Why is running so hard?
Oh, I don't know. It was just never something like it was just never something that I really got into, I guess. Like I was never really into cross country or anything like that. Sprinting, fine. Like give me a sprint event, please. And even with foot, I was always just that power athlete, you know, like very short, sharp bursts. We're doing 100s, 200s, 400s, all good. And the moment that it started to creep up longer, it's just I didn't prioritize that in my training for a very long time. And then I think it just shows like my aerobic base was so low when I entered the sport. You know, even my first regionals, my events were like top 5, bottom 30. Like there was no middle ground of like where I was at in terms of well-rounded. I was very good. I've always been good at what I'm good at, and then if I had to work really hard, you know, and then even like a middle of the pack endurance finish last year was like, we're getting somewhere now, you know. Like it's been a really hard slog to get good at that, and I think it is just also maybe the way I'm built too. Like I'm just a bigger, shorter guy. So that doesn't bode well for endurance sports as it is. It's quite hard to get oxygen around, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think I've just got to work on it. Just got to double down on it. It's probably the same as other guys that need to work on their strength, you know.
Are you beginning to love those kind of workouts?
Yeah, I do. I really enjoy my endurance pieces, like what we've got the Savo, or even just like that's how I start most of my days. Either run, ski, bike, erg, things like that. And I try and tend to finish the day that way as well. Yeah, I love it, man. I really do.
So, Jakey, how's hard work paying off for you, mate?
It's the best, man. Good, like I've got contact with all the guys. Steve Foster, who I work with on like a day-to-day level. man, I wouldn't, like, my season would be done if it wasn't for him as a whole. And then even, like, may not have went around again if it wasn't for, you know, Matt, Jake, Josh, O'Keefe. Like, the guys at Hard Work are legends, man. It's such a big company. It's like a real small, tight-knit family as well.
Yeah, man, it is, especially after being in Vermont with the crew, it's just next level. Like, there's nothing that I could, it is everything that I thought it would be and more. It's like, even just like how Matt or Steve or someone would like bend your beliefs on what that workout should look like. You know, like what a pace would be for a bike erg workout, of like what I would go into that. It's like thinking somewhere around here, and then it's like all of a sudden there's I think that split should be maybe like 5 seconds off. You know, it's like just their ability to like just get the best out of you, I guess, and in a really productive way as well. You know, even like challenging you, like, all right, we're gonna do, I remember one of the first days I got in there, the workout was 4 rounds for time, 25 chest to bar, a 500 meter row, 25 chest to bar. Smoke this workout, like that is a good workout for me. I'm good upper body fully. And then Matt looks at it, he's like, yeah, but you have to hold this pace on the rower, and you have to go no grips. Like, all right, well, that just changed the workout a bit. I think like the prescribed pace on the rower for the workout was like a 132 or something. Yeah, I was like, wow, it's got interesting. So it's just, I think little things like that of just like really pushing you for what your beliefs are, and like trying to really understand where your fitness lies. And then Steve, just from like a standpoint of like how knowledgeable he is about just like the way the body works, and yeah, they've been amazing, really amazing.
Your head's all the way back like this, and she's just perfectly angled, holding out. It's disgusting.
Wait. Are we saying I'm winning?
No,
Did I just win?
no, your head position's got nothing to do with it.
Well, it doesn't box step up.
It was with me. Yeah, forehead vein in a second, settle down.
Let's talk about it.
You think about George, you know when she's angry, when she gets that forehead vein come out? So his vein here. I've seen it angry.
Oh, there, it's coming out now.
There it is, you can see it.
I can't hide my anger.
You know, like Chandler Smith? So I don't know if you've seen like his or coach or friend like Bickle. Have you seen him at all? So Bickle was telling me, he gave me a cheat code for guys that know next. You cut this part of the shirt out, like for jump. So like if you see me wear like a crew neck jumper, it's like this. You can cut the neck out of it. It makes it look like you have a neck. Yep.
Is this what we're going to see at Torian?
Probably. I did it with our snake jumper. I don't know if it here, but yeah, there's a very good chance. Is that good? Does that look better or not? Yeah. Maisie, get it all sit.